I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Rachel, and this is Neurodivergent Voices, the podcast amplifying the voices and lived experience of the neurodivergent community.
We're licensed occupational therapists who specialize in the brain and are neurodivergent ourselves. Join us every so often in this podcast that is for you and by you, the neurodivergent community.
If you're interested in learning more about neurodiversity and joining a vibrant community of neuro-inclusive adults, head to our website, divergecommunity.com.
Interested in an interview? Email divergecs@gmail.com to get it scheduled. Let's get to it.
We just spent, what do you think, 30 minutes troubleshooting this damn microphone?
That's why we don't do this very often.
Oh my gosh, it just sucks all of the spoons before we've even started. And
You have to edit it at the end.
you have to edit it.
You know, we should really just go as unfiltered as possible. Sorry in advance. It is an adult podcast. There will be swearing and profanity at some points. That's just life. Sorry.
And it's probably going to happen sooner rather than later because the computer is echoing my voice back as I talk, and the fridge is really loud. So I'm not digging that.
Yep. Also, if you see this on video, I'm in a little corner on the couch with a babushka blanket going on situation. And even though this recording is how many months later? 9?
What?
We never said we'd be consistent. That was in our intro, so
There
it's
were
fine.
no promises, yeah.
No promises were
Sign
ever
up for
made.
this shit.
Anyways, I still have this voice that many months later. I think that's just the run for the course. We can't, unless I'm sick, we're not allowed to do a podcast.
I think that's accurate. Yeah. Might be our first podcast, though, that we are recording without ambient dog noises.
This is true.
Which I don't love.
I could text my cousin to bring her dog back.
There you go. We're going to need to borrow King Abby for just an hour or so.
Just an hour. That's all I want, just the cuddles. He's so cute and fluffy.
We are in love. Yeah, I agree.
So, kind of getting to the gist of it, we just wanted to give an update episode on what's going on. We have episodes to upload. It's just the editing to do it. We have, 30 interviews?
No. Listen, we did this really cool, group interview back in the end of July.
Uh-huh.
And interviewed, 11 or 12 different people. So we have, these micro interviews within one, and that just felt like a lot of individual tasks to do. So I stopped editing podcasts once I recorded that one.
Yep.
And then
Stephanie
has...
I edited 2 podcasts with my friend, and I think they're great podcasts, and I'm excited to upload them. I just don't have the spoons to do the intro. The literal
Fuck the intro.
15-second intro. And honestly, it's because of the film software we use and stuff. I'm not computer savvy, and to troubleshoot, this microphone for 30 minutes is not worth the 15-second intro to me. So, eventually, it will
maybe
come up.
They were really those interviews were really, really solid, and the only reason they will be up at one point is because those people deserve it.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
I would never do it just for us.
No, Just because I know others are expecting it, it will occur at some point. I'm sorry in advance if you've been waiting this long for either an update from us, or if you hadn't interviewed, or where's my interview? It'll happen, I promise. But as a neurodivergent company with neurodivergent therapists, we also have stuff happen in life. And, that's just par for the course.
Amen to that. Yeah. What a whirlwind these past 6 months have been, though. So if you're listening, which you are, if you heard me say that, we are recording, and it's, November 10th, 2023? Stephanie doesn't even know. She's like, frick if I know.
It's November.
It's November something.
Not Thanksgiving yet. I don't have my turkey in hand, so.
This is true. We are officially 1 year into this journey of Diverge Community Services.
Woo.
Which is incredible. And so I feel like we have so much to catch up on, both professionally, personally, and we gotta get the spark going again for Neurodivergent Voices, because once upon a time, this was something we looked forward to doing. And
yes.
I think even if there's only like 4 of them, I think there were like 4 listeners that looked forward to listening to them too. So
We had like at least 20 listeners.
at least 20. And every one of you is extraordinarily valuable to us. So thank you.
And from all over the world.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yep.
I forgot the rest.
I know. We had Australia. We had UK. Quite a few from UK. We had someone from South Africa.
Yeah.
We had a couple in Sweden.
All right. We got to do it for them.
All right. International folks and our local loyals.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yep.
So, Stephanie.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, so a quick tangent side note, because that's the only way neurodivergents know how to communicate.
Uh-huh.
Lost my train of thought. Back up. Oh, do you mind if I ask you a couple series of questions, even though I recognize that asking questions is a demand I'm going to be placing on you?
Oh, I don't care.
You cool with that?
Yeah.
I asked her a question to see if I could ask her questions. That's kind of cool. Okay, here we go. So, Stephanie, in the past, I guess 6 months, or since we've had our last show,
Yeah.
what are some things that have changed professionally for you?
Oh, like personally?
Personally, yeah.
Well, taking on more clients.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. A lot more clients, getting more certifications, because I don't know how to stop.
It's so true.
I don't know. If people look at my credentials, it's funny. I don't post all my credentials because the list would never end.
It's excessive, yeah.
And even if you even asked me about the credentials I do have listed and stuff, I have opinions on them and thought processing of it. So I just keep on collecting credentials to try to find the best fit for my clients because I don't like anything. And I try to find the most holistic approach and kind of snack from all the tools and strategies that I've learned. So lots of CEUs currently.
Yeah.
More sensory ones. I've of course now signed up for becoming like more, which I don't think this is a valid certification. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay.
I don't think this is valid.
Thank you for prefacing.
Yeah. But another certification in autism, I don't think you can be certified in autism, frankly. But just, I like getting the latest data out there. So that's where I get it, is from these CEUs. So if you see me credentialed as like a specialist in autism, know that I think personal experience is the most valid anyways, and that everyone's individual anyways. So that's my little side tangent.
Yeah.
Treating lots more. Yeah, treating like 6 days a week. So spoons are low. So I'm sorry. You literally are, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing me laying on a couch. Autistic burnout to the max here. Just like no spoons. It's hitting hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way because it's what we got to do to grow to make sure services are given to people. Because right now, just even with people reaching out to us, they're like, do you know of anyone in my state that does this? No, sorry.
Yeah.
Trying.
And that feels awful to like have this thing that can help other people and be like, sorry, you can't have it.
Oh, so yeah, we're credentialed. And
Yeah.
like so many different states now because of that. So that's
This
another.
is true. We have 7 states collectively that we're licensed in, which if we could just get our act together as a national organization and allow cross-state licensure, we wouldn't have to deal with this nonsense, but alas, here we are.
Yep.
7 states, though.
Yeah.
Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Georgia, Florida, Oregon.
Colorado.
Colorado.
You got Oregon?
No, not Oregon. Why did I think of Oregon? Colorado.
Colorado.
I think Oregon's and Washington are
Texas.
places like Texas.
Yep,
That's right.
Texas. I technically started my California. I never finished it, so
Yeah.
again, a demand. Sorry.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, so lots of changes there. Also, the last we heard, you were working in pediatric outpatient
Yep.
full time. Where are you with that?
I decreased my hours. It's
Woohoo!
still full-time, but guys, I decreased it to 37 instead of 40.
This is actually a very big deal.
Yes.
Very big deal, because that means we now get to have weekly collaboration mornings on every Thursday,
Yeah.
which it's a blessing to be able to have a partner when you are going into business alone. And it is an extra blessing to be able to have dedicated work time, especially when you need that accountability. So,
Yeah.
not you, just
Yeah,
when
no,
one does.
both of us.
Yeah.
In general, because, too, we used to have it on Fridays and then started taking more caseloads.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's been helpful, for sure.
For sure. For sure. For
What
sure.
about you,
For
Rachel?
sure.
Business-wise, professional-wise.
Yeah.
Professional-wise, more so.
Professional-wise, right?
Yeah.
So the past 6 months have been a continuation of full-time Diverge.
Yeah.
We've both increased our caseload, the number of individuals that we service to the maximum that we are comfortable serving.
Correct.
So we started a wait list, which is
Doesn't
Wow.
feel good, but good.
right.
Yeah.
We would prefer that these folks weren't waiting, but like professionally and from a personal level, it's really exciting to have that like consistency. It's nice.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like this milestone in private practice therapy to like get to the point where you have a wait list. It's like, I don't know, it's just like some solid feedback that you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. But like 4 months ago, I started doing a few contractual, 2 days a week at a hospital where I'm doing primarily acute-based occupational therapy, which is something I hadn't done before. I'd been like in a rehabilitative setting in the hospital before, but never like with people that were acutely sick and injured. So it's very, very, very different than what we do. It's obviously it's medical model based. So it is keeping me very well rounded in like kind of all things OT. I get to dabble in rehab, I get to dabble in medical model, and then I get to fully immerse in quality of life, preventative, habilitative stuff, which is what I prefer. But it has been fun to be able to bring our perspective and lens into the medical model.
Yeah.
And just sneak that in as often as I can.
Yeah.
So, those are like big professional changes. I think a struggle this past 6 months that I've been navigating and will probably always be navigating as a neurodivergent person is just balancing life, balancing the spoons that I'm spending, balancing what is draining versus filling for me, and kind of finding like what is the level that not only can I maintain, but that like that is giving me life versus just like surviving.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be in the point that I can start thinking about that more. Which leads us both into big things coming for Diverge.
Yeah. Diverge stuff. Because our wait list is so big, and there's a cute dog.
Hey, we do have ambient dog noises.
So if you hear, there's a dog in another apartment that is just very sad right now, and I just want to cuddle him. But because we have our wait list, we have decided that we need to do some onboarding of other occupational therapists. So Diverge is officially growing.
Yes, we are, baby. So, actually, a little context. We are in Chicago right now, which is Stephanie's hometown.
Yep.
Staying at one of her very generous cousins' homes while they are out of town.
Thank you, Jackie. And Jessica.
Yes, thank you both. And we are working on getting things ready to bring on our contractors at the start of 2024. So it's go time, baby.
Yep. Contract is basically written.
I know.
So we just gotta get it all dot T's, cross, whatever. You know what I mean? Dot I's, cross T's.
Dot everything.
Yeah, dot everything.
Dots on it all.
Get it all dotted up. Yeah, so it's starting so that we could actually do more treatment and be able to do things like this too.
Less treatment. Oh,
Yes,
well,
less.
we can service more people, but
Yes,
spend
that's what I
less
meant.
of our time treating, right?
Yes. Service more people. That's what I meant. Service more people.
Yeah.
Less of us maybe physically treating, But then we could do more outreach type things with
Exactly.
different organizations. Because we've had lots of organizations reach out too
Yeah.
about coming in and talking with them about either their employees or other types of needs, like even for other practitioners just wanting to know about neurodiversity or OT.
Yeah, neurodiversity affirming OT
Uh-huh.
for adults. Yeah,
For
this is
adults.
still a
Yeah.
new territory, new land for
Uh-huh.
sure.
Yeah, one of my friends or grandpa, someone said we are like the vanguards. Oh, my uncle yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we are the vanguards, basically. Which is not true. It's something from an outside lens. But,
yeah.
I mean, the society in general doesn't know what we do or anything as OTs. And then as neurodivergent affirming OTs, we're in a niche of a niche of a niche.
We are.
Yeah, getting more outreach out there.
Yeah, for sure. I guess like some personal updates.
Yeah.
Any personal changes or growth or just notable things in the past 6 months, because it's been pretty transformative.
I got some goats, officially.
That is probably the best thing that's happened
Yeah.
in the past year, if
got-
we're being honest.
Yeah, I got 2 dwarf goats.
Yep.
Love my husband, because not many people will tolerate you just having a new ADHD side project saying, oh, by the way, purchased goats. They'll arrive in 3 weeks. We got to have some stuff.
I love him. What a sport.
Yeah, lots of house maintenance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of not homesteading, but a mini.
I would say yes.
A
I would
mini
say
touch of
homesteading is
a mini
accurate.
touch of homesteading. Currently, Danny, right at this moment, is working on our chicken coop.
Chicken coop.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And why is that?
Because we have friends that are leaving and are needing a place to put their chickens, and we have basically a mini farm.
You have a hobby farm.
We have a hobby farm for
Yep.
sure, in the middle of a forest,
Yep.
well, a bamboo forest of all things.
That damn bamboo.
Yeah, lots of gardening. I know Rachel's been doing some gardening too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rachel came to help too with some of the nonstop gardening. Oh, yeah. But that's pretty much it for personal stuff. Maintenance. I guess a little bit of family growth, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, past year has been just a lot of self-reflection and exploration and growth, but also just, I don't know, not all of it has been like in a positive direction, but it's just been a lot of reanalyzing and rethinking things, which I think is a positive thing. But I mean, gosh, when we started this podcast a year ago, you know, a lot has changed in terms of like coming to better understand and embrace my identities as a neurodivergent person. And so I think that has been, I don't know, really transformational for myself as a human and meeting my own needs, but also in a lot of my relationships. So I've seen a lot of change in friendships and how I'm interacting and engaging with my spouse and with family. Just like having a language and a lens through which to communicate your needs it's not always easy, and I still a lot of times don't know what they are. But having that base, that framework for starting to communicate it is really transformational.
Yeah.
And I think there's been so much growth and learning from the people that I've worked with, right? Like, obviously, we are, like, the clinicians and they're paying us. However, like, we are one neurodivergent human engaging with another neurodivergent human. So it's very bidirectional, and I think we learn a ton from our folks. And oftentimes I'll tell Stephanie, I'm like, I feel like I have some serious imposter syndrome because, like, they just understand their neurodiversity so well, and they have known for so long. So sometimes I feel like there's just catching up to do. But I think that provides a perspective for the many, many people in my position too that didn't know.
Yeah.
And are figuring it out along the way.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. That's true.
Yep.
So, other than that, lots of consistency in my life, which is the way I like it. Big change, travel, things like that are not super comfy for me. So I prefer to have my routines and do the things I enjoy doing, make time for crafts and puzzles, and lots of time for my dog and my partner. So I've been reading a lot, but that's been a year in the making. So
Nice.
yeah, that's that, I guess.
Yeah. Good book lately? Miss reading a lot?
Yeah, what have I been reading? Oh, I've been reading Adam Grant's new book. I always enjoy Adam Grant's books, but so Adam Grant is an organizational psychologist, if you're not familiar with him. And he does a lot of work on, like, being open to being wrong and, like, reconsidering the status quo and preconceived conceptions, which is very much in line with, like, what we try and do within Diverge and neurodiversity affirming lens in general. But this most recent book, and I will tell you I have not finished it yet, but this most recent book has, like, the strong emphasis kind of on, like, willpower and grit that I think needs to be tread very carefully within the neurodivergent world, because how many times have we been told that, like, oh, just suck it up, or you just need more willpower, or you just need to get through it. So I'm surprised at his emphasis on that, and I'm hoping that he's going to deconstruct that and be like, that's what we thought. And we're seeing now that it's more than that, but...
Update to come.
Update to come. So he hasn't let me down so far. Everything he's ever written has been very...
We're smushing.
Oops,
Mike.
Sorry, Mike. It's okay. Yeah, you been reading anything good?
Honestly, I was really, at the beginning of this 6 months kind of pause with the podcast, lots of just, like, body keeps its score, trauma-based type therapy stuff, a lot of somatic therapy, and, like, expression of, like, it's good to actually show emotions, like, as therapists, that we shouldn't be so monotone with our clients and stuff, especially, like, neurodivergent clients. And mind you, in context, whatever best treatment for said client. But it just opened up different perspectives, because you learn different things in grad school and stuff that, like, oh, even for co-regulation, how, like, you being able to maintain your cool will help someone else maintain their cool. But sometimes in that moment, maybe they do need to scream, and maybe they do need to be running, and, you know, and how, and just in general, how people communicate. You're just different culture-wise and stuff. You know, Army sergeant is going to have a higher tone for most of his life, because that's just how he was brought up. Same as, like, Chicago and New York style, you know.
Pizza. Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Yeah, but even just talking with my brothers-in-laws and cousins, it comes out, you know. Friends in Michigan don't necessarily see it as much, but when they do see me interact with my family, it's definitely more like, whoa, and all that. And it's not necessarily a masking thing, but more of an expression of your relationship with that person. So even though it might come off as masking, more of an expression of your interaction and relationship. So lots of books about that. And then went straight into fantasy, because lots of book talk trends. If it was on Book Top, then I probably have read it. So yeah. Right now on Ire Flame, if anyone knows what that is. So millions of copies have sold as of yesterday. So,
you know, something you said, I think, was, I don't know, it just triggered this thought in me. And I think something that I have learned a lot this past year is really the value of multiple perspectives, of lots of perspectives, and the value of community voice, which really isn't something that was taught in school.
no.
And so I think, like, rethinking this idea of clinical expertise and rethinking, like, this hierarchy that we have based around education, I think has been pretty profound this year. And it's also been, like, for both of us, a year of self-driven learning, which is a totally different style than we've ever had before. Which, yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Just even you mentioning that, it kind of reminds me of like person first language and identity first language, and how, you know, we learn one in school, and even like me talking to other coworkers in a more clinical setting, having to catch them and be like, actually, if we go by the community that they're a part of, we prefer autistic person or deaf person with a capital D, you know, things like that. So yeah, just making sure that you take that lived experience of someone and what their actual preferences are and their forms of communication, their ways of communication, and even if it makes you discomfortable, it doesn't make it any less valuable for them or right or wrong for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Seek discomfort. It's okay to be discomfort or in discomfort with the moment, as long as you're learning from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It also makes me think of, like, this past year, I feel like we have, as we've gotten deeper and deeper into this niche and learned more from lived experience and voices, it's kind of really nice to exist in this sphere, this realm where we have this common language and where we have this common understanding of, like, differences, not deficits, and embracing us in our purest, truest form. I think makes me optimistic for what the future can look like, but then also being in, like, when I'm in the hospital or when I'm in different settings where that's not the status quo yet, it just makes that ever more evident that it's like, okay, we are in a niche. We are truly kind of like breaking ground and having thoughts and preferences and stuff that aren't the mainstream.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense that these aren't things we were taught in school, right? You're taught to be, like, very generalized and very politically correct. And now we're kind of saying, okay, that's cool, but fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's actually do what the people need. So yeah, it's a little bit more, I don't know, badass, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know, man, but I feel like that was a pretty long update.
Yeah, but for how many months it's been,
I think that's fair.
that's, you know.
That's fair. I'm just thinking about myself. I'm like, I want 15 minutes short and sweet and move on with my day and my life.
And some people like long episodes, so.
Yeah, we got a little bit of both.
Yep.
Shall we call it for now?
Yep. I'm going to go back into my cocoon.
All right, cocoon on, my friends.
Toodaloo.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Neurodivergent Voices.
Interested in an interview? Email divergecs@gmail.com to get it scheduled.